Hello, everyone. This is Luke again, and welcome to yet another Ninjago Iceberg meme. So, if you remember a month ago, I made my second Iceberg meme video, and it was created by a user called the Ultimate Sagavan, who said, "Hey, this was the one that I made. Here's an updated version if you want to do a video on that." Um, and I decided to do a follow up to whatever this user's updated Ninjago Iceberg meme, which contains quite a lot. So I'll go through them rapidly. I'm not gonna go for explain them in depth, super in depth. But this is gonna be a shout out to Miss Sagavan on Reddit slash the Ultimate Sagavan. So if you're watching this, um, then yeah, there's your shout out. So let's start with the top. The Fold, obviously the band who writes the Ninjago music. Character redesigns. Yes, this was a big controversy back in the day. Basically, the characters got redesigned after their movie designs, which not a lot of people liked. Voice actor changes. Yeah, most notable of which is Lloyd's voice acting change from Jillian Michaels to Sam Vincent in 2018, but we're gonna get another voice actor change due to the passing of Kirby Morrow for Cole, and right now it's between Adrian Francis or Ian James Corlett. I actually made a full on video about that. Season 2 was the original ending. Yes, it was, because it was never intended to go past season 2. Pilots. I mean, one of my favorites of the entire series. It's short, but it's sweet, and it introduced us to the world of Ninjago. Chima and Ninjago connection. Yeah, in certain moments, like in season 5 and in season 11, there were hidden Easter eggs and references to Chima, like the beavers, and there was even a whole scene of Chima re-edited to fit the Ninjago episode. I'm pretty sure that was what it is. Um, Ninjago on Netflix. It is on Netflix, but there was some tomfoolery with it, which I think is going to be in later down the line. Season 11 changes. Another big controversy. I might actually make a video why the Ninjago fans are just so damn resistant to change. But there was a lot of new changes. Different writing style, different format, different animation style, and not a lot of people liked it at first. Lloyd age discourse. Okay, I'm actually not sure about this one. I think this is basically argument of how old Lloyd is, but that's more or less due to um, Tommy and Drayson not giving the ages of any the ninja, but whatever. D. Tanagle Studios. Yeah, he's super popular. He's, I think, the most popular stop motion Ninjago YouTuber. I think he's at 90 something thousand subscribers. And right now, I think he's currently the second most subscribed Ninjago YouTuber out of all of them, first being Tanner Fishies. But it doesn't seem like Tanner will hold that record for long since Generic Stud is closing in. Shadow Ronin. This was a game set between seasons 4 and 5, and it explains how the ninja know Ronin. And surprisingly, this was considered not canon. But yet Realm of Shadows, which is a Malaysian puppet show that might be that later down the line, was canon, even though there's way more mistakes in Shadow of Ronin. The Lego Ninjago movie. This entire movie was controversial, though it was arguably Ninjago's biggest success, because it led to the result of the character redesigns. And a lot of people really didn't like how the movie was like a complete and separate entity compared to the actual TV series. Ninjago Reimagined. I actually did a ranking video on this, but the reimagined shorts were basically a collection of 5 shorts where they just basically what happened if Ninjago went this route or this route. What if it was edgier? What if it was a musical? What if it was a show for toddlers or whatnot? At least that's what I interpret it as. Ninjago Explained. I actually don't know what that is. I don't know what this is. Unless you're referring to that parody video that was I try not to laugh to, where basically Ninjago made fun of itself with that voiceover dude that I forgot his name. He's a very famous voiceover dude, but I don't know if that's the right one. Shared voice actors. I think this is implying that a lot of characters share the same voice actors, which yeah, so a lot of them do. A lot of them do. The documentary. The documentary was fan made and it was spanned over 3 hours, which is too long, might I add you, of just behind the scenes stuff, which to some people I guess that's interesting, but I didn't find it to be all that great. The Weekly Whip. That's Dan from the Fold's little series where he basically talks about behind the scenes stuff that they do, like, for example, Lost Weekend Whips or something else. May loves Akida. I don't know who this user is, but so I'm gonna ignore it. Ninjago Battles. Ninjago Battles was, I think, the first Ninjago game, and it was released on the DS. I'm pretty sure. Chen or Chad? I don't even remember this. Okay, so I'm gonna skip this one. Marcioni Movie Cut. Yeah, in the United States, for some reason, Cartoon Network aired Marcioni as a movie, but with some slight edits. Like, for example, the thing with the Faith flashback, instead of it happening in the last episode, it happens in the first episode. And for some reason, Cole's fall, when we are shown how he gets out of it, is shown right in the middle of the epic battle, which ruins the flow. Lily theories. Okay, I don't remember much of this, but I remember back in season 13 there was like a lot of Lily theories and whatnot. Season 7 animation change. Well, sorta. It wasn't really an animation change. It was still Will film. It was just I heard that there was something along with the vendor and that there were some complications with it, which is why season 7 looked kind of crap. The blooper reels. Yeah, there actually are two different blooper reels, which I did try not to last on both of them. There's one for the original season. I think it was for original season 1 and one for season 13. And honestly, I really think Ninjago should do more of those because they were just stupid things that are supposed to make us laugh. Lar. I think I covered this one in my first Iceberg, but he was the original Master of Water. But the team decided to give Nia the title of Master of Water, so he was left cut. Skybound removed from Netflix UK. I made a joke about this saying that even Netflix doesn't like Skybound because I don't know why they removed it from Netflix. And again, I just retorted with my dumb joke of, oh, they just didn't like it or something. Maybe it had something to do with like a lot of the edgy stuff that happened, like the first episode with the feminism stuff, but I don't know. The crew in the show. Yeah, the Hagmans actually showed up a couple of times in the show, and so did the Fold at one point. America airing Ninjago later than other countries. This one hurts me as the U.S. as a fan from the United States. Basically, if you don't know, our Cartoon Network is absolute shit. They don't care about Ninjago. All they care about is their stupid Teen Titans Go show, and they just air it later than other countries do. Netflix hiatus and oddities. I remember that, as I mentioned before, Netflix had a little bit of an oopsie with it, because I remember at one point when they did they classified the Master Spijitzu and New Ninjago as two new series. Fine, but for some reason they had, like, I think it was the Fire chapter in the UK, but no Ice chapter. And it was the complete opposite in the US. There was Ice chapter, but no Fire chapter. With what the hell was that? Essentially, Jay's mom's name. Now I've heard multiple stuff on this. I heard the name Liber was given by fans, but I also heard that some of the Ninjago people who work on the show gave her that name. So I don't know who to believe at this point, but I know the name Liber exists. Antonia's origin. I actually have heard of this. I think it's kind of similar to Jake, where a sick child got their wish of being in Ninjago, and Antonia was one of the characters, along with Jake. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Jake, not Antonia. I don't know if Antonia, the person who was behind Antonia, is still alive or whatnot. I don't know. Um, the Dark Island Trilogy. It was a three-part canon book series where it basically explains some of the events from Skybound between Skybound and Hands of Time, I guess. Because I know Klaus is in there, and I know there were some hints dropped about the Hands of Time, so yeah. Season 11 YTV leak. I think you I think you mean Teletoon. I think this is Teletoon you mean. If this is referring to Teletoon, then yeah. Basically what happened was Teletoon is a Canadian TV network. I'm pretty sure they're in Canada. And basically they dropped the first look glimpse of season 11 and it looked awful. It looked ungraded. And Tommy had to say, hey, guys, that's not how it looks. It just looks ungraded because it has something to do with, like, distribution, all that legal mumbo jumbo that I don't want to get into. Attack of the Cursed Spectres. I think that's an alternate title for Day of the Departed. I think in China, I think that was the title for the Chinese version, but I'm not entirely sure. Way of the Departed. I did a series on this where I basically just narrated the entire series, but it's basically set in between Hands of Time and Sons of Garmadon, and it basically explains a lot of stuff, like why Air Jitsu is not used in the show anymore, and why Cole Scar is completely gone. Radiant Glows 64. This user, I'm pretty sure, does a lot of Ninjago animations, but I heard this person got into trouble recently with being homophobic and whatnot because of saying that I don't want to participate in Pride Month or it makes me uncomfortable or whatnot. Enclair Moro. Okay, I don't know what this is. So I'm gonna skip it. Scrapped Mr. E and Echo Twist. This makes me mad, honestly. I don't understand why they didn't go through with this twist. Now, what I heard was that they had to reintroduce Skybound. There's something called doing it off screen. You could have just done it off screen, but basically, Mr. E was supposed to be Echo Zane, as you can see in this picture right here. And honestly, I think that should have happened, because how else would it work? Clutch Powers foreshadowing. Yeah, in season 1, Cole drops the name of Clutch Powers, and nearly a decade later, he actually gets introduced into the show, but there was a lot of backlash because a lot of people didn't like the portrayal of this Clutch Powers. A lot of people didn't like it because it wasn't accurate to the original Clutch Powers. Overlord return theories. I kind of heard this because basically the most common one is that the Overlord should return one more time before the series ends. So I don't know if that is what this one means. So hopefully Miss Sagavan can imply a lot of these. Prime Empire Belle Delphine. Oh yeah, I remember this because a lot of people. There was one character in the I Am Okino episode with pink hair and a very pink looking outfit, and a lot of people compared it to Belle Delphine, who I don't really know much about, but I think Belle Delphine is a singer, and I heard she wears a lot of pink as well, so yeah. Prime Empire Censorship. Oh yeah, I remember this one clearly. In the episode One Step Forward, Two Steps Back, there is one little 5-second scene of two girls dancing. Now, supposedly this was censored and potentially banned. This entire episode was banned in Russia. However, there is no evidence to suggest that it was banned. So, I don't know if the whole censorship thing could be alleged or not. It could be fake for all I know. Ninjago books and comics. Yeah, Ninjago has released a bunch of comic books and books like the Dark Island Trilogy. Well, and Way of the Departed could be considered one. I know there was a comic series that spanned for 11 issues before it was canceled. And there was the original books, and I remember little story time. I remember actually walking into those book fairs. I remember when book fairs were really fun back then in school. I remember walking past it, and I almost wanted to get it. I felt the temptation to get it, but I felt that if I got it, people would make fun of me for it, so I decided not to get it. Season 14 or 15 foreshadowing in season 8. I think you mean 15. I know Bragi Shoot said it's 14, but honestly, I feel like Bragi should not have said anything about this. But anyways, basically, Wojira was foreshadowed, but with a different pronunciation as Wohira, and so this was an epic foreshadowing. Garmadon Rules. Basically, this was made in Germany, I'm pretty sure, and it's German exclusive. And it's sort of like a diary of Harumi and why she likes Garmadon so much. Zaid Fridge Mystery. Yeah, in the US, Zaid did not appear in the fridge. There was just a note. But in every other place, more specifically the UK, Zane appears in the fridge, further emphasizing his weird personality. Now, the reason behind this is so that kids would not attempt to lock themselves in the fridge like Zane does, which is understandable considering they don't want to have any legal problems if a death occurred because of this. Joshua Deck, he is a very famous Ninjago artist who makes a lot of realistic looking art. I mean, it's not in my taste, but I know some people do like his art. Kirby Morrow audition recorded. When he passed away, Tommy Andreasen actually posted on Twitter of Kirby Morrow's audition, and he was originally vying for the role of Jay, who was named Ren at the time, but I pronounce it as Rain because I always think Ren is just the Canadian pronunciation. But then his voice landed him the role of Cole. And speaking of Kirby, I think so is Kirby's unfortunate last line in the entire series before his sudden passing late last year. And, this line has been, used a lot in tribute to him, so I thought this was really awesome. Origin of Zane's heart. Actually, I feel like a lot of people really went in too deep with this. I don't think the whole Zane, what's the source of Zane's power, is really that big of a deal, considering they never really made it a big deal to begin with. But Zane's heart, we don't know what it's made out of, essentially. And Season 3 implied that there would be an answer, but I never really thought they would go through with it. So let's go a little bit down here. Let's go a little down. And that is the Tournament of Elements concept designs. I remember one for Skylar, and I remember they had to redo it because in their minds it looked, and I'm not kidding when I say this, too slutty. I'm not kidding when I say that. Season 10 opening mystery. I don't know this one. I think that's due to the movie cut. But this one doesn't ring a bell. Jake, as for the concept designs, I don't remember any other concept designs other than Skylar's. Jake's origin. As I mentioned before, Jake was a sick kid like Antonia, whose dying wish was to be a Ninjago, was to meet the Ninjago staff, and he did, and he ended up getting a character role. Unfortunately, earlier this year, he did pass away, so my thoughts go out to his family, especially his dad. Pre-pilot concept art. I don't follow Tommy Andreasen anymore since I don't have Twitter, so I don't really remember this one. What happened in between seasons 3 and 4? I don't know this one either. I don't know what this relates to either. Wu's original voice. Okay, this one I know. Funny story. The whole "father will not want you to do this, brother" is actually an error. Wu was originally supposed to have a Japanese accent, but Paul Dobson used a much more normal voice, but they accidentally left that line in the final version, and it led to such a legendary moment and a legendary meme as a result. Ultra Agents is connected to Ninjago. Actually, I've heard of this. So there is another LEGO theme called Ultra Agents, and two of the characters, Toxikita and I forgot what Pale Man's name was in Ultra Agents. They were actually villains in the theme. So I don't know how they got to that. I don't know how they had some sort of legal deal or whatnot. Are Lloyd and Mora related? Never heard of this. I was about to say, don't you mean Jay because of the whole Win thing? But I don't know. Minecraft Kai. I actually remember seeing this. So Minecraft actually did release its set, and one of the figures contained was a Minecraft version of Kai, and a lot of people really pointed that out and and thought it was really cool. Salil in Samurai X Cave. I actually have not seen this. I have not seen this actually, so I'm gonna skip it. German exclusive web games. I'm not German, so I don't know this one either. Scrapped Weekend Whip songs. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, on the Fold's YouTube channel, especially during Dan's Weekly Whip, they actually talked about how some of the Weekend Whips were formed and how some of them just didn't quite work. There's even an actual video talking about two different versions of the Weekend Whip intro for Season 11 that didn't make the cut. Ninjago's 4D Ride. I made a Remember This video on this. It's called Masters of the Fourth Dimension, and it's basically all about perspective, and there are some videos about it on YouTube. Nito. I think Nito was just a random video game character from a game, I'm pretty sure. Ultra Dragon's Fate. Okay, yeah, this one makes me mad, because if you don't know, in Hunted, right at the end of the first episode, Firstborn, right after Iron Barrett says, "Lost are we?" You see a wide shot of his throne, which contains 4 dragon heads, and it is implied to be the Ultra Dragon, therefore implying that Iron Baron and the Dragon Hunters killed the Ultra Dragon. And Kai supports this even further by saying his throne, and I already hate it. Bruise acknowledged by voice actors. So if you don't know, Bruise is the romantic relationship for Jay and Cole. It's right now one of the most controversial Ninjago ships because of them being best friends and because of the amount of homophobia attached to it. But remember sometime on Twitter, Michael Adamthwaite, the voice of Jay, actually did a voice recording of Jay saying, "I love you, Cole," and Bruce fans went ballistic. And right before his passing, Kirby Morrow did it, like a couple months before he passed, and replied with, "I love you even more," thus making them super into their OTPs. I feel like Bruce fans take things way too far sometimes. But so do the antis as well. Now we're on layer number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on layer 5. Season 7 and the Lego Ninjago movie connection. I don't know. I don't remember any connection between these. Nia controlling Boreal. That was actually the original payoff for Nia's terrible ice arc in season 11's Ice chapter. And it would have been cool to see Nia control Boreal, because seeing Nia just control ice and then not even work just basically said fuck you to the entire arc. Season 13 scrapped scene. This was a scene in which the Munson Geckos made a statue of Cole and put it right next to Lily's statue, with Lily's statue smiling at her son's statue, implying that she is very proud of him. Which, honestly, if that scene made it in, I would have probably cried. Maybe teared up. Hey, Bin minifigures. I don't remember them minifigures. Some of the stuff was done before I even entered the community, so yeah. Original Weekend Whip. Yeah, the demo whip, which you could actually listen to it on YouTube. It's not quite as rock heavy as the finalized version, but it's still fun to listen to. Woo Crew. This is a logo involving Woo, and I think it was to promote the Woo Crew game, and you saw it a lot. And whenever I see it, especially in Skybound, I just shout, "Woo Crew!" Serpentine Train set, or the Snake Train. This was a canceled season 1 set from what I heard, but I've heard there may be plans to bring this set back. So if they do bring it back, then that would be great. Season 12 and 13 were once one season. Technically, they still are in the eyes of especially in the eyes of Lego and maybe even Cartoon Network even. But season 12 and 13 were marketed as one season, titled with the marketing name Adventures in New Worlds. But even though their storylines are drastically different. Dirge. I don't know what this is. So I'm going to skip it. Original pilot ending. I don't know this one either. Hidden Woo Crew symbols. I think that's just the same thing. Oh yeah, this was the Woo Crew symbols. Woo Crew was the game. I got these confused. I'm sorry. So I kind of did both of them unintentionally. Zoltar. I don't know what I don't remember Zoltar at all. Season 10's original ending. Yeah, this was basically where Garmadon rides on the back of Firstborn and basically creates a new realm, from what I heard. The Treehouse set. I don't remember anything about a Treehouse set. William Scott Godon Deco 2? Or Deco Tao. I hope I pronounced this right. But this was someone who worked on Ninjago for a while, but unfortunately he was killed in a car crash. See, the episode of Endings was dedicated in his honor, and so was the character of Scott in Season 12. Season 8 story changes. I don't remember there being a lot of changes to the story, so don't know this one. Luke Cage cameo. I know Luke Cage is part of Marvel, but so I don't know this one. Zane's age. Yeah, a lot of people debated about Zane's age even before 11 kind of put a whole new spin on it. But basically, Zane is confirmed to be the oldest of the 6 ninja. We know that. But as for how old he is, that's still a bit of a mystery. And it only goes further because Tommy Andreasen implied that Zane went back in time when he was sent to the Netherrealm, therefore, and ruled over there for decades, possibly making him upwards of 100 years old. So, yeah. Armageddon anagram. Oh, yeah, the reason I heard Garmadon was given the name Garmadon was because it was similar to the word Armageddon. It doesn't exactly quite line up, but it's very close enough. Tanner Fishies, the most subscribed Ninjago YouTuber to date. He has over 100,000 subscribers, and it makes videos basically on Ninjago topics. But I heard he might be surpassed by, like I said earlier, Generic Stud. The Lego Ninjago movie Body Pillows. I don't remember seeing these, actually. Garmadon removed from Legacy Bounty. I'm not into sets, so I don't know these. Scrapped Woo and Overlord scene. This is what I've heard, vaguely. From what I heard, that was the original Season 2 ending, where the Overlord now lived inside Woo, which would have, implied a third season. Thankfully, we got a third season, but unfortunately, this was scrapped. The original Season 7 ending. The Season 7 ending basically is the Time Twins jumping forward 40 years into the future and end up being captured by the old ninja, essentially. And that was to be the ending of not just Season 7, but the entire series at one point. Trina of Doom's Ninjago videos. I don't know who Trina of Doom is, but so don't know this one. The Lego Ninjago movie original plot. I don't know this one. Scrapped Libby connection or Liber connection Season 12. Yeah, I heard the original idea for Prime Empire was for Liber, Jay's mother, to have powered the machine. So I thought that was cool. Season 3 production issues. Yeah, I've heard this one. Basically, Season 3 was only meant to be 2 episodes, but then it was increased to 4, then it was increased to 6, then it was increased to 10, and then finally they all decided with 8 episodes. So Season 3 went through a production nightmare, and it's understandable why. This season was never supposed to come out in the first place. because, as we mentioned all the way up back here, season 2 was the original ending. So yeah. Nindroid rocket set. I'm not a set dude, so I'm gonna skip this one. Magma Kai movers. I think that might be a set thing, so I'm gonna skip it. Swearing exists. Okay. There is obviously implied swearing in the show, which is awesome. But believe it or not, Ninjago recent I only know about this just from Tanner Fishy's video on it, but in episode 9 of season 1, The Royal Blacksmiths, you know that dude who's announcing the whole contest for for the Blade Cup? Well, what if he was waving a card, and if you take a look close enough, the word asshole is written on it. I am not kidding. The word asshole is written in there. And it's not censored at all. And it's so funny how they got away with that. It is so funny, honestly. Lego Life Nia interview. Right before I left Twitter, I actually did see this. I saw this, and I basically skimmed over it, but it was basically a canon, quote unquote, or at least not a canon, but an in-universe interview Lego Life had with Nia. That's basically it. Scrapped female spin-off. Yeah, I heard that the Hagmans originally wanted to make a spin-off show featuring Skylar, Pixel, and Nia, but I made a video talking about why this was a bad idea. And basically my main point was that it would cause a gender war, essentially, between boys of the original series and girls of the new series. So it would cause a gender war. Show and set disconnect. Oh, I think this is implying that some of the sets don't really appear that much in the show. I think one of them was the Katana V11 from season 8. It didn't appear all that much in season 8, so yeah. By the way, if you hear a lawnmower, that's my grandma mowing outside. Racist aspects of Chen. We're gonna get into that a little bit later, but I heard there was a lot of racist aspects of Chen. Well, I would say racist because to me, racist is intentional. Racism is intentional. I would say culturally inappropriate or culturally insensitive because they made him look like a wild Asian or something. That's what I heard. Um, that's what I heard. Spinjitzu Scavenger Hunt. This one, a lot of people actually don't know about, but I just remember seeing this. This was actually a lost game that I heard back in, 2013? And it is one of the few pieces of Ninjago that can be considered true lost media, considering evidence of it does exist, but no one knows where to find it, essentially. Ninjago Christmas specials. Yeah, there were ideas of Christmas specials, but specials don't really do that well in Ninjago. I remember Overlord X making a video talking about how specials may never ever be good in Ninjago. Layman's terms. So hopefully we actually get a Christmas special because I think it would work really well if they do if they do it right. Darker Jin Blade. Yeah, the original purpose of the Sword of Souls, or the Jin Blade, was to actually suck the souls out of people's bodies. Yeah, dark shit. And there's a picture, as you can see, on the right here. And, so yeah. Oni Titans. I think this is referring to the Oni Titan or the Colossi from season 8, which I don't know why it's all the way down here when it should be like somewhere here. But that's just my opinion. Cloud Kingdom set. I'm not a set dude. The Lego Ninjago movie Brexit connection. Nope, don't know this Brexit connection. Albrick Studios, the most controversial Ninjago YouTuber. He's made videos, some of which are very infamous. He's infamous for being a creep, for scamming, and for profiting off of people's deaths. So, yeah, I already made a full-fledged video about him. So, Ninjago action-themed killer. I think what you meant is Ninjago killing a bunch of other LEGO themes. If that's what you're implying, then basically Ninjago is said to have killed, quote-unquote, killed other LEGO themes and not really given them a fair shot. Such themes are are Legends of Chima, Nexo Knights, and possibly even Monkey Kid. So so yeah, it kind of has a hit list at this point. Space season concept. I remember, I don't know. I thought this was more of a fan idea. Someone suggested doing a season up in space, but I don't know if any of the showrunners said anything about this. Unproduced season 12 episode. I had never heard of this. I've actually never heard of this until today. So, um, Amber Legacy. I'm pretty sure that was a lost story in which it would explain more about Skylar's powers and her history, which would be awesome, hopefully, considering how season 16, or whatever you may call it, might do something like this. Now we're on to the last layer. Marike Hedrikse Death Hoax. I don't know this one. I don't know this one. I don't know who this woman is. Or who this person is, sorry. Genocide is canon. Yeah, Ice Emperor. Ice Emperor basically is implied to have killed a whole bunch of Yetis, but I don't believe that he did any genocide. Because 5 Yetis is not genocide, unless they were endangered in the first place. Nauticon's name change. This one I've heard. He was originally called Azad, but this was changed due to a Syrian dictator with a similar name called Bashir al-Assad. What's strange is that in some of the episode descriptions for certain episodes, the name Azad is still there. So it's kind of weird how they never changed that. Season 13 racial commentary. Okay, I recently heard this from a video. So apparently I also heard that sorry, allergies. But basically the monks and geckos were supposed to be similar to slaves, aka slavery, aka not segregation, but like when slavery was a huge thing in the U.S., especially how the Skull Sorcerer, especially with how Vangelis is almost all white, I could definitely see that. It's basically a reference to slavery. Temple of Benchstrock / Brett Miller's body parts. No idea. No idea. And the final one we have is cultural appropriation, which goes back to racist aspects of Chen. I remember there was a website called Spin Bitsu, which basically, it didn't try and cancel the show, but it basically implied how some of the aspects of Ninjago can be considered very culturally inappropriate towards Asian people, especially with how Asians were being attacked last year, especially in the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of Chinese people were blamed on for causing COVID to happen. So, yeah, I remember it said some stuff about Orientalism and whatnot. Chen was another one, and another one which didn't really sit well with me was how there was not many people of color who work on the show. And this person forgot to add the black voice actors, but so it implied that there was only one Asian person that worked on the show, which was Vincent Tong, voice of Kai. And to me, this didn't sit well because it implied that these people should be fired because they're not Asian. That's what it came off as to me. It just came off that way to me, and it just didn't sit well with me, especially since one of them is dead now. So it's basically, not only are you disrespecting them, you're disrespecting a dead person, right? I don't think they meant any harm, but I think a lot of people didn't take it the right way, and I don't think I did either. But anyways, that is the new and updated version of the Ninjago Iceberg made by Miss Sagavan / the Ultimate Sagavan. If this user wants to comment about some of the stuff I missed, they'll let me know with some of these, because some of them I knew and some of them I did not know. Anyways, how many of these can you recognize? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel by clicking the red subscribe button, and click on the notification bell to see every video that I will upload. And I'll see all you folks in the next video. Bye-bye!